Hey guys, Shawn of WebPianoTeacher.com here today. We're going to talk about minor scales and how to play them. Now to do that, we're going to look at the circle of fifths for minor keys. Now the circle of fifths for minor keys is different than the circle of fifths for major keys that we looked at before in other of my videos. So we're going to look at minor keys, and right off the bat, some of you might say, well, what's the difference between major and minor? Well, major is going to sound happy. We just talk about just the sound of it. Minor key is going to sound sad, or some people say mysterious. So we have that minor sound there. So minor keys are very important. Minor chords are very important. And a lot of people don't know about those because they don't really get to them. They kind of look at the major keys and they quit. But we're going to look at the minor keys, very important, just as important as the major keys. So let's really look at them. Pull up a chair, get ready for an extended lesson. Okay, this is just not just a 2-minute YouTube video or somebody tries to get a little information. This is going to be an extensive lesson on this subject. So let's get into it. If you really want to understand what minor scales are, how to play them, their importance, then you've come to the right place. So let's do it. So the first thing we need to look at, let me get my earbuds in so I can hear the piano. I have a cord going into the camera, but I've got to put in my earbuds so I can hear. There we go. Okay, so circle of fifths for minor keys. You see our circle of fifths right here. Now, if you haven't looked at the circle of fifths for major keys, this isn't going to make a whole lot of sense to you. So I recommend looking at that, looking at my major scales video. It says 7 major scales. Looking at that one that I've done recently, that'll help you. Then you can come to this. Maybe you already know what the circle of fifths is. Great. But we have at the center here A for A minor. Okay, why do I have A minor there? Because A is neutral. Just like the key of C was neutral for the major keys, A minor is going to have the same key signature, that means number of sharps or flats, or lack of them, as C major. Okay, C major had no sharps or flats. A minor will also have no sharps, no flats in the key signature. Now, you may have saw me play a sharp at the end. There's a reason for that, and we'll talk about that. But first, you need to understand, A is neutral, no sharps, no flats. Now, as we go around this side, this way of the circle of fifths for minor keys, we get to E, because we go up a fifth, right? A to E is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So E is a fifth away. E is going to have 1 sharp. Now, the order of sharps is the same. Remember when we did major keys and the order of the sharps were F, C, G, D, A, E, B? Same order for the minor keys. So as we go to E, it's going to have the same key signature that the key of G did. Remember that? I could have wrote the major keys in here too, but I didn't want to confuse you too much. So the key of G that had 1 sharp shares the same key signature as the key of E minor. All right, and I'll tell you about that sharp at top in a minute. But they have the same key signature. Now, as we go around again, the key of B minor will have 2 sharps. Guess what? The same 2 sharps that the key of D had when we did major scales. Remember when you did your major scales? If you haven't done them, you need to go back and do them. This will make a lot more sense to you. But D had F sharp and C sharp, right? F sharp and C sharp. Well, B minor is also going to have F sharp and C sharp when you do a B minor. We're going to stop there because if I kept going, then I'd get on some black keys. I don't want to do those yet. I want to stay on the white key minor scales. And so there are 7 of them because there's 7 white keys, right? Okay, so A is neutral, no sharps, no flats. E has 1 sharp, which is F sharp. B has 2 sharps, which is F sharp and C sharp. Now, as we go around the left side of the minor circle of fifths, we get to D. So if you go A and you go down a fifth, that's why it's called the circle of fifths, because you go up by fifths or down by fifths, depending on which way you're going on the wheel. Go down to D. D is going to have what? 1 flat. What flat is it going to be? You should know if you've done your major scales. The key of F had 1 flat, right? F major. Well, D minor is also going to have 1 flat. Or if you're wondering about that sharp at the end, we'll get to that. But in the key signature, D minor will have 1 flat, just like the key of F. Now, this is the way you talk about that. You say A minor is relative to C major. That's what that means, relative minor, when they have the same key signature. So A minor is relative to C major, no sharps, no flats. E minor is relative to G major, 1 sharp, and it's F sharp. B minor is relative to D major, 2 sharps, F sharp, C sharp. Get it? That's relative because they have the same key signature. Now, so if you look at a piece of music and you see 1 sharp and you say, well, is it in G or E minor? I don't know until you start playing it and looking at the chords. Then you can tell. Okay, it could be either one. It could go back and forth between the two because they're relative, they're related. Okay, they're cousins, if you will. Now, so that's relative. I could do each key like this. So let's finish that and then we'll talk about what parallel minor means, okay? So relative, you're getting a lot of theory stuff here, okay? So D minor is relative to F major, 1 flat. G minor is relative to what? Well, what key had 2 flats? B flat major, okay? B flat and E flat. Those are your 2 flats for the key of B flat major. G minor is relative to B flat major because they have the same key signature. I'll put that mysterious sharp that I've been doing, which we'll talk about very soon. So G minor and B flat major are relative to each other, okay? G minor is the relative key to B flat major. B flat is the relative key to G minor. Let's move on. C minor. This is why I wrote these letters lowercase, because when you're doing music theory and you're analyzing, you write keys that way. The major keys are uppercase and the minor keys are lowercase. That's why I write them lowercase, okay? Doesn't mean they're less important, just means they're minor. So, the key of C minor, you should be able to tell me. 3 flats, right? Because we're going around the circle of fifths. 1 flat, 2 flat, 3 flat. Relative to E flat major, right? E flat, if you've done your flat key scales, because I did another video on playing the black key scales, and that included E flat. So you had E flat major as 3 flats. Well, C minor is the relative minor to E flat major because it has 3 flats and it looks like this. Or one more, because that's the 7th one. Hang with me. All right. So some people will look at this for a little while, you know, and not stay with it. Some of you, a small percentage, will actually stay and learn this. You are the ones I'm talking to. Stick with me. You will benefit from this. I guarantee you. We're not doing this because it's fun to play minor scales, major scales. We're doing this so you can understand music, so you can get better on your technique, understand what the scales are, understand and recognize patterns, because music has patterns, and that will help you playing the music you love to play, hopefully on webpianoteacher.com with a membership. If you do that, I have, you know, more lessons than you can do in your lifetime on there, but it helps us play the music that we love. That's why we do this, okay? And some people might actually find it interesting. I do. So let's keep going. F minor. How many flats? We're up to 4 now. So it's B, E, A, D. I forgot for a minute. B, E, A, D. Just like the key of what? What key has 4 flats? A flat. So the key of A flat is relative to F minor. 4 flats. So so that's F minor, 4 flats. Those are the 7 minor keys that we're going to do, okay? I told you I was going to tell you about what parallel means. Parallel means the same tonic note. Tonic means the 1 chord. If you've done my theory lessons, my circle of fifths lessons that I did 4 or 5 years ago, then you know what that means. Okay, look at those lessons. I got a playlist going that says Piano Fundamentals for the Serious Student, something like that. They're in there. And the parallel minor means the same tonic note. So C major is parallel to C minor. Okay? C major has no flats, no sharps. But C minor has 3 flats. So they're not related as far as their key signature, but they are related that they have the same starting note. That's it. That's what parallel means. I can play C major or C minor. Okay? So that's what parallel means. So if I said What is the parallel minor of the key of A major? You would say A minor. Just say the same letter, but just say minor instead of major. A major has 3 sharps. A minor has no flats, no sharps at all. Unless I raise the 7th. Which we'll get to that. I keep telling you we're going to talk about that. We will. So parallel, same tonic, relative minor or major, same key signature. Okay, and you may notice that the relative minor is always down a third. If C has no sharps, no flats, the relative minor of C is A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you count all the notes, you have a minor third away. A flat would be a major third. A is a minor third. So you can do that on any major key. Count down 4 notes total, and you arrive at the relative minor. Let's try one for practice. Here is G major. How do I find the relative minor? Well, I can look at my circle of minor fifths, or I can just go 1, 2, 3, 4. E minor, got it. There you go. You can do it on any key. All right, you understand that? Parallel minor, relative minor, flats and sharps. Okay, so here are the different kinds of minor scale. And you say, what? There are different kinds. Oh, come on. There's one kind of major. We're only going to really play one of them, the harmonic, because that really covers it all, okay? But since this is a complete theory lesson, I'm going to give you this if you guys want the information. So the first one is called the pure minor, and that means we just follow the key signature exactly, just like we would do for a major key. So a pure minor, if I were to play A pure minor, no flats, no sharps, which is fine. Pure minor scale is great. If I were to play the E minor scale in a pure minor, B minor, that's called pure minor. The melodic minor is the toughy one because it's different on the way up than it is down. Okay, we're not going to mess with that in this lesson, but just to give you the information, this is how you would play the pure minor. I mean the melodic minor. It's, let's see, you play it sharps at the top, and then you play it differently on the way down. I'm not going to get into it a whole lot, but just so you have the information, that's how melodic is. It's like the A major, except we play C natural instead of C sharp, then we raise the 6th and the 7th, and then it's a pure minor coming down. I'm not going to get into that, but that's how the melodic. It's different going up than it is down. This one is the one that everybody needs to know, the harmonic. That's the one we're going to play. That's the one that you'll find use of. When was in college, that's the only one we had to play was the harmonic. Okay, I just showed you these two so you would have them in your knowledge. Okay, so you can talk about it if you need to. The harmonic minor is the one we're going to do. And that one is where we raise the 7th. When I played A minor to start with, I played it pure minor. You see, follow the same key signature as the key of C, no sharps, no flats. Well, if we're going to do a harmonic minor scale, we raise the 7th scale degree. Raise it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we raise it up a half step, and that makes it G sharp. See that? Red sharps are the raised 7ths. They're not in the key signature. You will not find a G sharp in the key signature of A minor. You'll see sharps in the G's, though. When you look all through it, you'll see G sharp written in as an accidental. G sharp, G sharp, G sharp. That's how it's done. It's not in the key signature, but it's raised. Listen. It's probably what you're used to. Why do we do that? I don't know. It's just kind of pleasing to the ear. Way back, centuries ago, composers started raising the 7ths, and we still do it today. So, long story short, they're raised. They're not in the key signature, but we put them in as accidentals, and we raise the 7ths because it's pleasing to the ear to have that raised 7th. It's 7 because it's the 7th scale degree. It's raised because we go up a half step. A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if I was only going to play one octave. So that's why the red sharps are there, is because we're raising the 7ths. Okay? Now, rules for fingering. If you looked at my other scale videos, one of the biggest helps was remembering where the fourth finger goes. If you remember where that one goes and do it correctly, everything else has to work out. It just has to, if you'll use the fourth finger correctly on the correct letter, okay? So here are the rules. There's one exception, which we'll look at. Of course, there's always an exception, huh? But generally, in the left hand, the second scale degree will have the fourth finger. Well, that's easy. That makes it really easy. Second scale degree, 1, 2. So 2, 2, 2, 2. Those are the second scale degrees. The second note will have the fourth finger. And that makes sense because you'll start on your fifth finger. So that's easy enough. So let's do A. Let's start on A. B will get the fourth finger. A, B, C, D, E. I'm going to cross over with a 4. No, because only B gets the fourth finger. So I'll cross over with 3. F, there's my raised seventh. G sharp, ba, F to G sharp, 3, 2. It's going to feel weird at first. Then you get to A. But remember, we're not going to do just one octave. That doesn't help. We're going to do 2 octaves at least. So 2 octaves to help us out. Starting again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, A. Keep going. I cross over. Oh, a 3 or a 4? B, fourth finger. Because that's what you're supposed to remember. B is the fourth finger. 3, 2, 1, 3. G sharp, A. Okay, so come down. I come under. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my B. 1, G sharp, F, E. Okay? That's the key of A minor. Now, right hand key of A minor. The fourth finger will go on the raised seventh every time, every scale. So that makes it easy. Wherever you see the red sharp, that's your fourth finger letter. A, B, C. I'm not going to use a 4 on the D because I got to come under because I'm not going to use the 4 except when I get to G sharp. So I come under with my thumb. See, it has to work out if you save that fourth finger for the correct letter. G sharp. So 3 to 4 is G sharp. F, G sharp. Come under with your thumb because I'm going to go 2 octaves. G sharp with a fourth finger. Come down. Hands together. There we go, A minor. 4 octaves once you can put your hands together. So you get a real good feel for the entire keyboard. And you get used to those fingerings, getting those fingers to work. So when you have scales in a song that you love, you can do it. And it's easy because it's familiar. You're familiar with those patterns. You're familiar with that skip from F to G sharp. All right, moving on. Lesson number 2. Yes, it could be another lesson, couldn't it? D minor. Okay? D minor, same fingering, same ideas. You're just going to put in your flat there. C sharp is not in the key signature. It will be written in as an accidental because we raise the 7th scale degree a half step. Okay? So we have D, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3. C sharp with a 2, and then D with my thumb again. So my fourth finger went on E. 4. 4. Come down. I'm gonna not put my 4 on the A. Why? Because it doesn't go on A. It goes on E. So I got to bring under my thumb. There's the E with a 4, and then I lost my place. Let's see. 4, 4. There we go. So that's what you do. The right hand 4 goes on C sharp. Remember, when you play scales, angle your hand a little bit this way on the right, a little bit this way on the left. Mine's kind of an exception because I'm kind of sitting at an angle here, so it's hard for me to do that. But that's how you want to be, so you can keep your hand the same angle and not have all this doing this. Which a lot of people do. All right, stay straight. That's how you get fast. What am I watching when I'm playing that? I'm watching my left hand and I'm making sure I put my 4 on E. Because the right hand kind of memorizes. I almost said rememorize. That's what little kids say, right? But I'm watching that left hand, putting that fourth finger on the E, and I'll keep it together if I can do that, I think. All right. And I haven't played these scales in decades, I don't think. G, And you might say, well, why don't you play them if you're telling us to do it? Because I played them enough for 5 lifetimes when I was a kid and a young adult, and I have them up here, and I can get them back out if I need to and get them well. But I understand them is the main thing, and I still remember all the patterns there. I did them so much. So anyway, number 3, we have G minor. So left hand first. Why am I doing the left hand first? Because that's the hand we're going to have most trouble with. So I attack that first. I do it first so that it's not so much of a problem. G, 4th finger goes where? 2nd scale degree. There's the A. 4. B flat's in the key signature. So is E flat, but I'm not going to put a 4 on it because 4 goes on A. See, it has to work out if you put the 4th finger in the right place. E flat, F sharp. There's my raised 7th, and G. Crossover with what? 4. A. Oh, sorry, I lost my place. 4. Come down. 4. 4. 4 goes on A. Right hand. 4th goes on the raised 7th scale degree on the F sharp. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. These scales all feel the same. You just got to put the flats in there where they go. Okay? Hands together. So there's G minor, C minor. Okay, so up to 3 flats now. Now you go, well, where's the 3rd flat? What piano teacher? It normally goes on B, doesn't it? B, E, A. So B would have been flat, but if we raise it, since it's the 7th scale degree, it would have been flat. We raise it to a natural. That's what happened to it. The 7th scale degree became one of the notes that we raised. It was a flat, but we raise it, so now it's a B natural instead of B flat. If I played a pure minor on C, it would go. Okay? If I play the harmonic minor, which is the one we're all used to, and the one we're doing here, B natural instead of B flat. So, left hand first though. 4th finger on D. There's a D, so there's the 4th finger. Okay, so hopefully I don't have to go over these as much. Since the patterns are so much the same, you just have different, get your new flats in there. Right hand on the C. Okay, hands together. F minor, 4 flats. And you say, where's the 4th one? Well, it's the same answer. The E would have been flat, but we raise it, and it's in a natural position now. E natural. So left hand, F, 4th finger on G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat with a 3. Why? Because the 4th finger goes on G, not D flat. E natural with my 2. F, there's the G, so my 4th finger. Oh, sorry, I got mixed up. Some of these will feel kind of weird with the stretching there for the raised 7th and where the flats show up. They're more difficult than the major scales generally. All right, so right hand, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D flat, E. Oh wait, hold on. All right, I have a mistake. Well, no, I just need to add this. I'm just going to tell you about it. On the right hand here, 4th finger goes on B flat. I could write that. Yeah, I could. Here, I won't be lazy. I'll do something here so that you'll have that. Let's see. I'll just put the asterisk there. Okay, and then we'll just say on the right hand, your 4th finger goes on B flat. Uh-oh. Here, okay. 4th on B flat. So I'm not starting this lesson all over so I can have it all perfect. It's already not perfect anyway, so no big deal. So when you do the right hand scale, your fourth finger goes on B flat. Okay, so watch this. F, G, A, there it is. Come under with your thumb. B flat, E natural. So 2 to 3 with E natural. F, G, A flat, B flat. Remember the major scales and the right hand went, the 4 was on B flat like all the time for all the black key scales. Well, here's another time where it's on B flat. Okay, so make that correction, or addition, really, it's not a correction, it's an addition. For the right hand, the fourth finger goes on B flat. Okay, that's an exception to the rule for that one, okay? So hands together, I'll start here. Oh, I can't reach. F minor. Now we'll go to E minor. 2 to go. These are our 2 sharp scales. Okay, we've been doing flat scales this whole time. Now we're going to do a sharp scale. E, but still, my fourth finger is going to go on F sharp, the second scale degree. Cross over with a 3. There's my raised 7th, D sharp. That's why D is sharp there, because it's a raised 7th. So it feels kind of funky a little bit, have the fingerings and the stretches. So you get used to it. There's the fourth finger, F sharp. Now the right hand, E, F sharp, G, A, B. Now we're back to the rule where the fourth finger goes on the raised 7th for the right hand. So hands together. I'm going up because I'm having to reach over and stretch. And all right, so last one that we're doing our minor scales. Last white key scale for the minor. We do have our exception here for the left hand this time. It starts on 4, and then you have F sharp as your 4. Remember we did the black key scales? We would start on a finger and then decide where our fourth finger was going to go. Well, this is kind of the same idea. We're going to start with a fourth finger, okay? And so we go B as fourth finger, C sharp, D, E. Now I have F sharp. What am I going to do? I'm going to put my fourth finger there. Now, fourth finger started this, but after that, after you start it, it goes on F sharp every time, like it says there, then F sharp. So you start with a 4, now it's going to go 4 on F sharp every time. F sharp, G, now A sharp, because that's our raised 7th. This scale is weird looking and weird feeling, okay? It really is. 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1 is how you start out, and then we're just going to we're going to go to C sharp, put a 3 on it. 4, because there's F sharp. Come down. 4. And we'll end on our fourth finger. Okay? If you want to be a purist, you can start on your thumb and then immediately cross over. You know, thumb, and then you wouldn't be putting a 4 on the B, you just put a thumb there. But it's just easier to start with a 4. It just is. When you're starting out. All right, so that's the left hand. Again, because it's weird. Right hand is the same as always. B, C sharp, D, come under E, F sharp, G, A sharp with a 4, B. So, you have your 2 sharps in the key signature, F sharp and C sharp, because it's relative to D major. They both have 2 sharps. But B minor will have a raised 7th scale degree, and that's where the A sharp comes from. Hands together. There they are. Don't get hung up on, I was trying to quickly go over the pure and melodic scales. I didn't really give those enough time or explanation. The harmonic really will cover it for you. It really will. These are just other ways to play minor scales, or modes, some people want to call them. I just put them there just so you'd have the information. But harmonic minor is what we're doing. That's where you raise that 7th scale degree. And it's the same way up as it is the way down. Work on those, guys. Work on all of them. Work on your major scales, all 12 of them. Now you can work on your minor scales, all 7 of them. We have 5 to go for the minor keys, the black key minor scales. And then we'll try some more stuff, all to help you, what? Play and understand better the music that you love to play. That's why we do it. It's cross-training for playing the music that we love. Hope you guys enjoyed that lesson, stuck with it through the end. Let me know if you did. Talk to you later.